All right, that was really weird because since you said one, the live video said one, so like counted out at the same time. So I thought that was really cool just to throw it out there.
Welcome back.
Oh, guys, welcome back. Yeah. I didn't tag everybody. Oh, we got to put it not on the pole, the microphone, or my Gatorade.
Here. You haven't been on.
Oh,
you haven't been on. Let's get that.
Right. So we were asked the theory.
Oh man, your phone broke. I don't know what you did.
Yeah, you're trying to say my
I
beard's
always do
ugly.
that.
Yes. Okay. Anyway. So
the question was
now I'm not going to remember it verbatim. So in ancient cultures, like in the Native American aspects, do you think they were more susceptible to being
more open to the supernatural?
To the supernatural. So I'm not going to answer this one first.
What?
Or do you want? No, I want to hear you guys. I've answered a lot.
Yeah, you.
Dang it! I do believe yes. Could it be that there's spiritual ways that just left their minds more open? I believe so because you got to think. Back then, their minds weren't as cluttered with everything that we know today.
Cluttered with knowledge.
Well, I guess that's my interpretation of it.
No, James's brain is cluttered.
But you got to think, we know so much with all the technology we have.
We have so much knowledge available to us.
And even
not a lot of people know this stuff.
Even as a young kid, we probably, could have been considered a wise man of their tribe. Even as like I'm just using this as an example, an 8-year-old that's gotten so much mathematics and knowledge into their head, they're going to be smarter than the average person was back then. Not saying that's why they're more open to it, but they were able to think things differently, I believe. So
just like anyone can come to this conclusion. I think people who lived hundreds or thousands of years. Well, we just finished our last segment talking about if we could go back in time 150 years and show someone a cell phone, their minds would be blown.
Yeah.
Right? How did they explain their world back then? Right?
Exactly.
Native American, people in ancient cultures, they had no other way of really explaining any kind of phenomenon except paranormally.
Now we're all watching you.
Yeah, right.
Amanda sitting true. In is doing some weird yoga stuff. I'm not for sure.
But that's true. Like just the way they perceived it back then, that may have been like how they would explain life in general, or I don't know if you necessarily say life in general, but how they would interpret different situations.
Have the scientific method until the scientific revolution. No one's gonna. Until that comes along, until the Enlightenment, at least the Enlightenment comes along, you're not gonna have. Of course, they were more open to paranormal, like spiritual things.
Yeah.
You want to know why they were more open?
Because they couldn't explain anything.
Aliens.
Did you just say aliens?
I mean, ancient aliens.
I've been trying to avoid that saying all night long, but I was waiting for you to say it.
Come on.
And grab your head.
I couldn't help myself. Aliens.
But
ancient aliens guy.
We're not that far removed from monkeys, guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're not that far removed.
Was it 98% of our DNA matches monkeys? Yeah.
Yeah, Pantroglodytes is even more than that. So, we're basically monkeys. And not that long ago, we were just trying to figure out what the hell is going on? And we're still trying to figure that out, but we've just become more sophisticated. Look how far life has come in the last 400 years since the scientific revolution, since the thousands of years before. We've been around as a species for over 200,000 years. 400 years ago, we came up with science. What the fuck happened?
What took so long?
No. Sorry,
okay.
Mom.
Yeah.
Sorry, Mom.
Sorry, Kevin's mom.
So what I'm saying is, ancient civilizations almost certainly were more open to it, but
because there was a lot of things that were unknown to them that they didn't understand. The sky was foreign to them, like the stars. They didn't understand them. Some societies had a better understanding. They were able to map it. The more that we've researched those different tribes and stuff, but there was a lot of groups that probably didn't know, and that was their gods. The Greek gods named planets.
Well, and let's put a modern day spin on this. There are still indigenous tribes in the world, and what do you think they think when they see some of our modern stuff? Do you think it'd be kind of like the same thing? They're explaining it with what they know, and it could be like something godly or spiritual for them.
But there's still religion in the world.
Yes.
Right. Everywhere. So there's still religion, and then people still believe that there is a God. I'm not making a judgment claim about that.
No.
But the point is we're not that far removed from ancient civilizations.
No, we're
Yeah,
not.
no.
We're just not. And a lot of people still explain the world in this way. So I think we're less open than ancient civilizations used to be, of course. Because we have an alternative way of trying to understand the world.
Also, that could be our ego.
What could be our ego?
That we think we're better. I mean,
than ancient civilizations?
Yeah. I mean, in some aspects that we are, but in what you said, we're not that far.
Right.
You know, we have certain aspects, but a lot of people that would go back and think like, oh man, we're like light years away ahead of them, like just so much more advanced. Right. Yes, in certain aspects, but in our thinking, I don't think we are.
No, I mean,
that's true.
In the experience of being human, we're still very similar to what humans have always been. Our technological advancement has gone through the roof.
Over the last...
But also, I mean, as a species, our collective understanding of life has gotten substantially better.
That's because we've been more connected with everyone.
It's because we've been more connected, and it's because we have a method that helps us do that in the scientific method. That's it. However, I had this great professor in college. He was a Chinese guy, and he said, you know, science is an amazing way to understand the world and understand reality.
You pointed towards him. He's talking.
But it's not the only way. And I was really shocked when a professor, he was a history professor of mine, I was really shocked when a history professor said, you know, science is a great way to understand the world, but it may not be the only way.
That is kind of weird and shocking.
Yeah, so...
What was his explanation of that, then?
I mean, I think he was... So he was Chinese, so he's from the East, so I've studied Eastern philosophy, so I think he was probably pretty influenced by Eastern philosophy, too.
Okay.
I'm guessing things like, you know, he was probably referencing things, I mean, he didn't explicitly say anything, but he was probably referencing certain experiences that you can have through meditative states and things like that, which are extremely revealing about the nature of what is. So,
back to the original question, I think, the ancient cultures, or ancient, like even Native Americans, they did perceive it differently than we did here. So that's a collective answer from all of us. I think we can say that.
Yeah.
So that was a very good question, though. Yeah. Very good question. So we're gonna move on to enjoy Mexico. Have fun. Drink a margarita for me. Woo, party. But another little theory we were talking about, like the residual energies.
Okay, so the third theory that we're trying to discuss here is maybe ghosts or hauntings are not dead people.
Yes.
Maybe they're maybe they're not interdimensional beings. Maybe whatever a ghost or haunting is the... How would you describe this theory, actually?
Without really calling it residual energy.
Yeah, how
would you would really always connect residual energy with a haunting.
Yeah, how would you describe what the residual energy is?
I would say, you know, it could go back into... I don't want to say it that way because that might seem too far-fetched. But like ley lines and different energies of...
Yeah, to me, it's something that's just repeated over and over and over and over and over and over. You know, like a lot of people say they get the heebie-jeebies walking up their steps. Well, everyone walked up your steps, you know, kind of thing.
So, like you're saying that an event has occurred so many times in a place that
it's either ingrained
into that physical location somehow?
Yeah, in a sense. There's multiple different thoughts on this. I mean, another thought is it's not residual. It's happening. Right. Like it's happening currently, even though we don't notice it because we're here. But you know, in time, the way it stacks.
Yeah. So this is something we were talking about the other day, and this theory to me is interesting because I think it could potentially have some plausibility if looked at in a certain way,
and the right way.
Well, I don't know.
In the way that works with him right now.
Well, I'm not saying that this is right. I'm just saying, like, so...
This is all theory. This is theories. None of this has been proven. The theories.
Right. It's just an idea. So my idea here is that we know that time is relative, right?
Yeah.
Time is relative. Meaning, and what that actually means is that there are multiple different times happening simultaneously.
Yeah.
Okay? So my argument is, we were talking about the other day, how time is probably really not linear. But like,
absolutely.
The way we perceive time is, you know, it's going from the past towards the future.
It's the way we perceive it.
Even though we are constantly living in a present, we never see a future or past. They don't really exist, right? Have you ever had any contact with the past or future?
No.
No one has, right?
No. Not that I can remember.
So,
well, Michael J.
more than likely, there is just this like eternal now moment, right? There's just like this one moment. So like all time is happening simultaneously.
Yeah.
And somehow to explain this paranormal phenomenon where you actually come into contact with other individuals that don't seem to be there, it's like I used an analogy with you the other day. So somehow you have to be experiencing, right, maybe the past or the future in your now, right?
Yeah.
So to use an analogy.
In your timeline, it's kind of bending, and you're experiencing it somehow.
Right. So to give you an example, like right now or tonight when it gets dark outside, and you go outside and you look at the stars in the sky, when you look up, you are right in your now. You are experiencing stars that are actually that are actually in the past.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what you're actually seeing is, and this is when you really think about it, it's pretty mind blowing. You are experiencing right now. Let's say you're looking at a star that is, the closest one is 4 light years away, right? Proxima Centauri. The closest you can see is 4 years into the past. So right now, you're experiencing 4 years ago.
A past life.
Yeah.
Now now I know that it takes a lifetime to get to you, but the argument I'm making is that all time is existing simultaneously.
Let me know when you're finished. I just thought of something.
Ahead.
Well, when you go into space, time, what is it? Time speeds up for you.
Yeah.
Which, in a theory, if you come back to Earth, that person experienced the future to us.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And depending on how fast you go.
Yeah, how far you were in, and how far I think it has to do how far away you are also.
Yeah. Have you guys seen Interstellar by chance?
I haven't yet. I want to watch it.
So good.
Great movie. So
good.
like in Interstellar, there's this scene, I don't want to give away, but it's an awesome movie. Recommend it. But there's this scene where they basically approach a planet that's near the edge of a black hole. And it's in the gravity of this black hole. And as gravity is increased, so basically your time shifts, it changes. So when they go down to this planet, because of the gravity, time for them feels normal.
Yeah, relative to them.
But relative to Earth, they're experiencing like, I don't remember what it is in the film, but it's a huge amount of time. Every hour is like a year, you know what I mean, or 2 years or something like that. And that's possible. That's actually possible in reality.
Yeah,
it is.
Which indicates that there's actually all time is really happening at once. The past and the present and the future is actually all right now. We're just perceiving it linearly, which means somehow it's possible that whatever the phenomenon is that you experience when you have a ghost encounter is that really you're just encountering somehow. It's like when you look at a star.
Mm-hmm. It's either the past or the future.
Right. You're somehow experiencing it, and maybe this, I don't know if this has any indication of like, or has connection to like deja vu, for example.
Yeah.
But maybe there is this just one, all time is happening now, and it's possible for us to interact with it.
Just the position we're in, we can experience.
Yeah, right. And I don't know, I have no reason to explain why that would happen or how it happens. But it seems probable to me that is maybe more likely than previous theories we've discussed.
Yeah, because there's kind of a scientific background to that with the travel of light coming from space, or with a person coming back to Earth. Yeah. They technically time travel because they're coming back in time, so they're coming back to the present or from the future. That is proven stuff that we have, and we kind of talked about this yesterday. What makes something a proven scientific factor, like, we joked about it, once NASA says something, everybody believes them.
Right.
But once, Kevin says something, we're going to believe him because we know him.
But no one else.
But nobody else is going to.
Right, and this is really important. We talked about this the other day, too, is when it comes to evidence, this is the hard part about your guys' job.
Doing good, Stephen. How are you?
Is you can capture really good evidence if you want. You can capture excellent evidence like the EVP you caught at Karen's house.
Yeah.
But no one that sees that online is going to believe that. because of our problem, not just our fake news problem, but but the problem is credibility. And so, who do we need to verify information for us to say that we're going to accept this piece of evidence as real?
And that's where we got the NASA aspect, because usually anything that NASA says is gold.
Right? Does NASA have
it could
to
be
approve
so
your EVP?
far fetched, but everybody's like, "Well, NASA said it."
Is anyone from NASA? That's
if you are, we need to give us a call.
If you are,
we got some shit for you to say.
We're gonna need you to listen to some stuff.
Yeah.
No, but that's the thing is there's no really true background where you can take it back to where some corporation or some scientists have proven this paranormal theory that it's just all hearsay. It really is.
Yeah, I mean, my problem with it all is, and my question is I mean, we're getting off topic, but it's an important topic. Is how do we get there? How do we get the credibility of a person or a group like NASA, or for us as a paranormal group? I mean, is that even possible?
I don't think as an independent organization we can do that. Yeah. I think somehow, I think the government would have to open up an agency dedicated to this type of science.
To researching the paranormal.
And I don't know what
or I would have to bring something to
We'll call it Area 52.
And I don't know what it would require. I really don't know what it would require for a governmental agency to be opened up to start investigating these kinds of phenomenon, right?
I would think it would have to be a scientist going outside of the realm of what they normally do and coming up with a
You'd have to come out with
a mathematical
basis of everything.
theory.
Now, I could see universities doing it.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Like universities, people studying universities could potentially get a grant to maybe research something.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, the problem is, you get these studies from universities; those are important. But if you really want, how would paranormal become mainstream and become an accepted field?
Yeah.
Is you would have to have some kind of accepted governmental agency behind it,
like NASA.
Probably.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that just use that because it's everybody kind of refers to that. But it's just crazy that one aspect of the government or a organization like that can influence so many.
Yeah. Well, it's like
just because who they are. Yeah.
Well, now I missed that.
Well, you're not a religion unless the IRS says so.
Yes,
that's true.
Once they give you tax exemption status, you're a religion.
Yeah.
In Indiana, you can do that all the time.
There's a Jedi one.
A Jedi religion.
Jedi. We talked about this.
There is. Yeah. Awesome.
The Kevin wants to. Yeah, there's it's crazy.
I want to learn the Force.
You want to? It doesn't work that way, Kevin.
I think it does.
All right, so let's get back to our theories, and the Force does not work that way, Kevin. Just so you know, NASA told me.
Yeah,
NASA told you.
But so we kind of covered on that last one. Well, we lost topic there for a second. I kind of forgot what we were talking about. But time.
No, it was
the residual
hauntings.
Okay.
Now, I took it in a direction that's not, I think, the traditional concept, the idea of residual energy haunting.
Well, yeah, because most people are being open to it, like residual energy as a ghost being around it. Like, say somebody passes away in a home, and they would go brush their teeth in the morning at 6 a.m., and at 6:05 they go to the kitchen to make breakfast, but they would hear the footsteps come from, the bedroom to the bathroom to the kitchen. That's what most people in modern day are going to take that as residual energy. I haven't,
because it's not happening every day,
right? Because you don't do the same thing every day.
Yeah.
So so for example, let's say it's grandma got up every day at 6 o'clock and brushed her teeth and then went to the kitchen.
I pretty much do that every day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Pretty much. Not every day.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, sometimes I'm not at my home and I brush my teeth somewhere else.
Right. So what I'm saying is, what if your reality? Let's say grandma's actually living right now.
Mm-hmm.
She's actually living right now. You see what I'm saying? Like, she's actually living right now, and today she just didn't get up at 6 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
Like, maybe
it breaks the chain of
that continuum. That's why that residual energy haunting wouldn't happen every single day at the exact same time all the time.
But it should happen a lot more frequent.
But you would think it would be more frequent if it is in fact a thing.
And that's my whole thing about it, is if it's something just purely on repetition, happening over and over and over again. I'm not saying it should happen over and over and over again, but I think more along the lines it should happen way more frequently, where we are not questioning this. Why this isn't a theory, but really a reality. That's
absolutely.
We're not sitting here going, well, here's our theory about residual hauntings. It would be like, this is why residual hauntings happen.
Yeah. Have you guys ever had an experience of any kind of thing that you thought might be a residual haunting?
I would say most of everything that happens in people's homes
Yeah, we can.
more or less residual. I mean, I would say the percentage.
But that contradicts your, because I asked at the beginning, do you guys think that hauntings are, well, no, it doesn't necessarily.
No, it could be of the dead person.
It could be. It could be. Yeah, you're right. It could be of a dead person. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So I think most of the time when we get contacted like that, we I wouldn't say chalk it up being residual energy, but that's what because modern day people watch the TV shows and they hear the word a lot, so they hear residual energy used a lot, and that's what they're most commonly going to perceive it as.
I also think there's a big misconception about what energy is.
Yeah.
I think people use the term energy like it's like some kind of like
it's its own object,
like an ethereal thing, you know, like
yeah.
But I don't think any scientist would back that up.
I completely agree with you.
know, so
We can attest that there's energy out there,
Yeah.
but why does it relate to the paranormal?
Yeah, and I'm not a scientist, so I'm not going to say like the forms. I mean, there's like heat is energy, for example.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay,
Like,
I thought you were questioning energy being a thing.
No. I'm saying.
So you were way wrong.
What I'm saying is energy is not this ethereal thing. Like it comes
Yeah.
in forms, right?
Yes.
And to say that, like, for example, a spirit is energy, well, I don't think any scientists would back that because, like, what does that mean? Is the spirit just hot? Like, what is it? You know, like, what is it? So, like, what form of energy is it taking? You know, is it taking a form of light? Like, what is the form of energy take? So.
All right.
Oh, put
Put it down. Put it down. I'm charging. Sorry,
phone was almost dead, everyone.
It's gonna die still. It's not charging. Just so you know.
Helping.
Okay, well here. I can't be a cameraman.
Everyone's sick.
That's a proven thing. I have the shakes. I apologize. I can't. I
Seriously?
can't plug you in.
Oh,
right now.
really? Oh, you unplugged it. Oh,
Yeah,
okay, cool.
yeah. That's what I was just saying.
Anyway.
So back to off topic again. Yes, that's just kind of.
Well, and there's another theory. I don't know. Well, we have a little bit of time left to cover it.
Okay, for
About 7 minutes. Well, we can briefly talk about before we go on break.
and we'll finish it up when we come
demons and angels. And
Yeah,
those kinds
there
of
it
things.
is.
Well, I mean, it's a theory. Like,
back. Oh, it is a theory.
like, what are those? I mean, something that no one can relate to in their home or happening to them, and it's always happened to them, and it possesses, is said to have possessed people. And
Now, is this the theory that ghosts are actually demons?
no, that demons are their own thing,
Yeah.
and not necessarily
A ghost.
but they, their own thing that we haven't
Yeah.
been able to
But
identify.
we're trying to focus on what is a ghost, right?
But we can have pictures of these things.
That's what we're trying to figure out right now. Like, what is a ghost? The theories we're running through. Is that
Yes,
right?
yes. So this is just basically.
Well, I mean, this is in that theory.
Okay. Sorry. Yeah.
Ghosts, demons, and angels. I mean, they're closely.
They're always
they could be
used
closely,
throughout time.
Right. I guess they would be considered in the same realm of paranormal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, let me see if I can look at directly what it said here, because I know it was a para. Oh yeah, ghosts are demons. Ghosts are demons attempting to trick us, or angels here to protect us.
Right.
There we go.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
It was
So that's we said so. I can yummy coke. But in that aspect, it's just like a ghost. We can't prove what an actual ghost is. Why can't we prove what a demon is? And why do we have so much access to even naming these creatures?
Is that a thing? I mean,
What, a demon or a ghost?
Yeah,
Or a
no.
demon or an angel?
Yeah, is that a thing?
I would so much call it a thing because look at our demon list that we have.
Yeah.
Like, people have assigned names and like backgrounds of different religions to these creatures, and more or less they drew pictures of them. So where did those come from?
I mean,
Yeah, but they've done the same for the Norse gods. They've done the same for
So it's just
so North.
many. I
you
mean,
believe in all the religions now.
Yeah.
apparently I do.
I mean, in 1,000 years, they'll look back at the Hobbit and say, "Oh, they must have been elves." You know what I
They
mean?
must have been elves.
Because they named them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
That's true.
So
Porthos,
that doesn't
and
necessarily just
Doc.
because people have thought about it before doesn't necessarily mean that they are
And give
real.
them a picture.
What-
They
I
just
mean-
gave it a picture for people to identify easier with
Right.
whatever they're
So
trying to
what
do.
is-
Pictures of
your
white
take?
Jesus too.
That's true.
So
I
don't open that question.
I heard an actual interesting theory on this about demons specifically. That it's been a while, so sorry if I'm a little vague on a few things. Because I didn't come up with this. This was a friend of mine. Basically, he said, demons are an idea that we as a human race created. That our minds became so fearful of that we've created it. Because we don't really, I mean, we've created this kind of like we've created religion and all these things, but we created it and now it's affecting our brains because we're so fearful of it. And they were also saying along the lines, what can't you get rid of? What can't you stop? An idea.
What kind of idea can you not get rid of eventually?
Yeah, you can't. Once you think of it, it's there.
Right.
You know, and in these along those same lines as we, you know, our brains have all collectively came up with this.
Sure.
And believing in this, and now it's a thing, and it can never go away because it's an idea that we all